Okay, hey, we are live, girl. We are,
No.
and I'm gonna give it a few seconds because LinkedIn is often delayed. And when I tried to go live, apparently it's a lot of people going live tonight on StreamYard because traffic was unexpectedly high, is what it told
Got
me.
it. Well,
So
while we're
if
waiting, I
you,
just shout you out for the sold out retreat. I did not know that till I saw the intro. So yay.
yes, ma'am, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. It was obvious. It was really like me surrendering and just letting it be instead of worrying about it too much. And then, folks just came through. So I really appreciate it. So if y'all can hear us, because we should be live, if you are listening, if you could tell us where you are watching from, what city are you in, if you are hashtag team live or hashtag team replay. And then as always, please share this live with any Black woman you think might benefit from the conversation around redeeming yourself as liberation. And just want to, again, just in case there are people who just joined, just say that LinkedIn is often behind on comments. So for the last couple episodes, I have been running a little hot because as soon as I log off, I see all the comments and I'm like, man, I didn't see any of these comments during the live. So I want to apologize in advance if anyone is typing in and we're just not seeing it. We love you and we will respond to the comments after the live. Okay, Kimberly. Hey, girl from Las Vegas. Okay. So I guess we are live and we will acknowledge the other comments that come in as we continue with the conversation. But my name is Crystle Johnson. I am the founder and retreat host at Design Your Soft Life. I help Black women who are saving the world save themselves first. I founded Design Your Soft Life, which was previously the DEI coach because I have burned out in the DEI space. I've been in the DEI space for 10 years. And at some point, I realized that who I really wanted to support and help were Black women who are also doing this work and other types of hard work, whether it be social impact, community activism, or maybe you're just a Black woman who is trying to change the trajectory of your family. Maybe you're trying to build a legacy, but you're trying to do all the things and be all the things to everybody, and you just burning yourself out, girl. Just burning yourself out. Yes. So we ain't dying for this is really an opportunity for us to connect with brilliant Black women like our guest today, Kimberly Pack, about how they lean into liberation, because liberation is not black and white. It's not this. It's not just this or that. There are different ways that you may be able to feel liberated. So before we jump in, Kimberly, I would love for you to introduce yourself to the people that are listening.
Yes, super happy to be here and so grateful for the invitation to participate in this movement, right? You are creating a movement where you are gathering people weekly to talk about liberation, right? And how we take care of ourselves, right? And so I'm Kimberly Pack. I'm based in Chicago. I'm a privacy attorney, but recently launched my business, Ascend Together, which is a corporate strategy and wellness practice. And so what that'll be is individual and group coaching, retreats, and other opportunities for us to talk about what it's like to be our best selves, right? So that's why we have this alignment, because, we're both trying to tell the people to get back to themselves in so many ways and to take care of themselves. And that's a message that's needed, unfortunately, because I think a lot of folks have gotten away from that because of society and capitalism and all the things. And so I'm so glad that you have this series. It's so helpful.
Yeah, and then we heal and liberate ourselves together in community because we are actually mutual friends with a incredibly kind, beautiful Black woman, Alicia Time, who I met at a retreat 2 years ago. And I love her. I think that she's amazing. And she connected, well, she talked about me to you, and then she messaged me, and then you was like, girl, you take too long. So then you messaged me.
Listen, I'm gonna get to the people, okay?
Yes. And then we got on a call, and your energy is beautiful. And I loved our conversation. I was like, girl, please come on. We ain't dying for this because the people need to hear what you have to say. So I'm really excited to actually have you here with us today.
Yes, happy to be here. Happy to be.
So let's talk about redeeming yourself, because when you first told me the name of your retreat, which we'll talk about throughout the conversation, her retreat is coming up in August, y'all, and it's the melanated takeover. So get into it. When you initially told me about redeeming yourself, sorry,
Yeah.
I had never really heard that phrase before. I didn't know what it meant. Like when we think about the word redeem, I think about a ticket, so I didn't really know what to think. So tell the people, what do you mean when you say redeem yourself as liberation?
Yeah. So when I was thinking, so I knew I wanted to take corporate professionals who were stuck, uninspired, downtrodden, or even just who've been having a lot of success, but they don't even know why they're doing the things. They're looking, they're someone who's looking for the next pat on the head and, feeling unfulfilled, but they feel like they should be grateful because they're doing well. They're getting the promotions, they're getting the bonuses. They have the things that people say you should have. And yet there's still something there that's like, I'm still feeling unfulfilled, and they're still kind of, okay, well, maybe if I get this title or maybe if I get on this special project. So I wanted a time for people to examine their lives. And so I think our unexamined lives let us just keep going and being in a certain state. And then I wanted us to be able to save ourselves, to say, listen, I've lost, to one, acknowledge what we've given up. Like, let's own what we've given up. Some of us have given up identity. We've given up time. We've given up relationships. We have given up our voice. We've given up a lot of stuff to be in these spaces. And so what is it like for me to invite you to say, why don't you redeem yourself? It feels lost, but it's not lost. And that if you take this moment, that you could save yourself, right? And so then when I was like thinking about the name, at first I was going to say reclaim or whatever, because I knew I wanted it to be like a getting back what might feel like it's been lost. But that redeem got me because it was like rescue. It was like save, to set free by force. And I was like, that's what I want. I'm inviting us to like get radical with ourselves, with our own dreams, with our own journey, and to become our own saviors. Right. Yeah. And so I think a lot of times we're experiencing some stuff and we're looking for outer things to make us feel good, to make us feel happy. That thing, if we have the husband, if we have the baby, if we get the next job, if we join another club, if we get in Jack and Jill, if we get into this organization, if we do then we'll be somebody, we'll feel good, it'll be complete. And it's like, no, it's an inside job.
Yeah.
This is an inside job. And so just really wanting to give people an opportunity to think about that, to examine their lives, and to do that. Some of it is virtual, right, in this experience that I'm creating. But the other part is really just get out of your own space, right, to leave. And so that's why, the invitation, we'll talk about it more, it's at a place that I love, right? Miraval is where I want people to like think about play. I want them to think about all the parts of themselves that they may not have been experiencing. When was the last time you laughed real good and heartily? When was the last time you felt good? When was the last sensual feeling you've had? Like, what is all the things, right? Like, what are all those things? Where's the adventure? Where's the mystery? Where's the mystique? Like, what are these things that we might be leaving out because we're so corporate? We are, we winning, we button up, we doing the things. Now the to-do list gets done.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but how you feeling?
But are you on the to-do list?
And in a meaningful way? Because the other thing about it is, because a lot of us are doing pretty well. So let's be clear, we're doing well. So we can go to the spa day. But see, self-care ain't the same as self-love.
Yeah.
right? Self-care is an action of the self-love. But so, yeah, you can go to the spa. You can even go on vacation. And I'm not saying that you don't find places where you enjoy yourself, but some of this, even this enjoyment of vacation, is still check the box. It's like, yeah, I went on vacation. Yeah. I went to Morocco. You have pictures to show that you did something, that you're free. Some of it's still very performative. We get on a trip and you still doing stuff all day long. Or you just so exhausted that you didn't rested and you didn't missed everything because you haven't been taking care of yourself. Or you're the opposite, right? Overcompensating. You're on the live. You're posting the pictures to everybody so people can look like your life is good.
Yeah.
But I'm living, y'all. I'm living. Are we?
Yeah.
Are we living? It's an ouch moment. I had a lot of ouch moments. So I'm here to, say ouch with you, but then we go keep doing the work. So we go get this freedom.
Yeah, for sure. It's so good to hear you say all of these things. As you were talking, I found myself wanting to say, well, well.
Well, see, I'm a church girl down in my heart. So it all come back. It did feel like a real church thing too.
Yeah.
I talk about rituals. My workshop tomorrow is sacred rest. I want to bring us back.
Yes.
To that, right?
Definitely got to come back because I have definitely been that person. I am your audience. I'm definitely doing much better than I was, but there has definitely been times in my life where I'm like, okay, like I'm the definition of a first in my family. First person to go to college, first person to graduate, first person to have a corporate job, first person to make six figures, first person to, own a home. Like it's so many things that are first that all I could do was just keep going, keep building, keep trying to make sure that my family felt proud of me. And I've talked about this on a previous episode where because of the way that I grew up, because my parents were always working, they were always busy, I felt like in order for me to be loved or to be valued, that I needed to be achieving something. So I just have kept achieving and overachieving and doing more and thinking that there's more that I need to do. But ultimately, the only thing I need to do is be. I need to exist. I need to take care of me. I need to rest, as you mentioned. There's like 7 types of rest that you're going to talk about tomorrow on your.
We'll be talking about them tomorrow. It's going to be a great experience. I told us it's still evolving, so it'll be a good time.
Yes. So if anyone who's watching would like to join Kimberly's live workshop tomorrow, please go to her page. She has posts on there. We will also drop the link inside the chat once we have wrapped up the live. We will absolutely do that. So one of the things I want to ask you to go back to redeeming yourself. How do you start the process?
I think you first start by stopping. And it's not got to be a long stop, but I think stillness is something that a lot of us don't experience because it's like we're going, then we're getting ready for bed. Even before we're getting ready to bed, our mind is still on next week. Like there's oftentimes we don't have just some stillness, just not even doing a yoga practice. I'll just be still for a second and give yourself permission to check in. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? I was coached. I remember being a coach session years ago. And a woman this coach asked me how I was feeling. And I said, I think, she's like, no, it's not that. And then I tried and I said, well, when I think about it, she's like, hello, like I could only be in my head. I was so disconnected from my body. Again, functioning, doing great, doing the trips, doing the things, having a good time. But I was so out of touch that I could not tell you how I was feeling.
Yes.
Like in a meaningful way. And often people, when they ask you how you're doing, you generally just say, okay, good. And I mean, if you have a good friend, you might vent about something, but we don't really talk about our feelings and that could be okay. But when we're not checking, we don't know how we feel.
Yeah.
When I don't know how I feel, when I'm asked in a safe place, how I feel, and I cannot tell you, bells went off. And I started working on that. I started every day checking in on how I feel. The feelings wheel. I didn't even know how to articulate. There's a tool for everything, y'all. Listen, there's a tool for everything. But the feelings wheel was something that I started looking at because I was like, I don't know what this feels like. I feel it. I'm leaning into it. I don't know how to articulate it. So even doing that. So back to your point, getting still. This is not like you quitting your job and just getting still. Just start the practice of checking in with yourself in a meaningful way. Just in some quiet. Don't even do the music. Because it's like, even when we try to do this, okay, it's still like, then we got to have the music still, or we got to be doing this. But I dare you to sit down in a comfortable spot and get still without any judgment, without any expectations, for you to just to say, how am I doing today? How am I feeling? What's been bothering me today? What I feel anxious. What has been giving me anxiety? What is the things that's triggering me? What are the things I've been dreaming about that I haven't been dreaming? Like what if you haven't been dreaming anymore? What if you don't even dream anymore? Because it's like, why bother? I'm doing, right? But like what are the things that I really want? What am I really working towards? What am I really proud of myself about that ain't got nothing to do with productivity?
Yeah.
What does that start looking like and feeling like? And just taking that time to be still. And then to be honest, and again, no judgment. If the answer is, I don't really know how I feel, this stillness, I'm uncomfortable in this stillness, it's okay. Like, just don't keep at it. Keep the practice. And this one you may engage, depending on where you're at. You might need a therapist, you might need a coach, whatever it might be. Or you might need to engage better with your community. Because a lot of people have friends and they don't maybe use them or engage with them in meaningful ways. Where are your friends that you can get real with? That's safe for you, that you could say, I've been feeling a little off, girl, and I'm working on this thing right here. And I want you to be some accountability for me. I want you to be in community with me as I'm trying to explore some new things about myself. So yeah, I think we're going to talk about later, but I was exploring some work on myself, about that safest place. I mean, powerful. Just, I don't know if you're ready to just go there or if you want to stay with this redeeming yourself a little bit longer.
I think that we are often looking for a safe space, just like you said, with happiness. We're looking externally to be like, well, this job is going to make me happy. This partner is going to make me happy. Buying this house is going to make me happy. This salary is going to make me happy. I think it's the same thing when it comes to a safe place, as you and I have talked about in our vibe section. We think that safe spaces have to be outside of us. And while it would be ideal that safe spaces exist, I think, and we both agree, that you have to feel safe with yourself first.
That's right.
This idea of like this safe place or safe space with yourself. Tell us a little bit more about that. Like, how do you identify it? Like, what's involved in it, and how can people really check themselves? Because I also think that sometimes we think doing all this stuff needs to be expensive or like this big to do, when it's really just be still and acknowledge where you are and be truthful. And then how are you talking to yourself? So jump a little bit.
So my latest big hurdles and work on myself, the self-work that I've been doing, is becoming my own safest place. And what that looks like is loving on myself, being careful with myself, talking gently and sweetly to myself.
Yes.
Forgiving myself for making mistakes or doing things that I didn't think was a good thing to do. It's how keeping boundaries. It's allowing myself to dream and not shooting it down. One of the things I told my friend, sometimes we have an idea, and our ideas get to be divine. They come from somewhere, right? Even if we don't end up doing, some idea comes into our mind, our heart, and we think about it. And the first thing we do is shoot it down. We be like, oh, this is stupid. I ain't got the time. I don't got the skills. I don't got the, before we could even talk about it with the world, we'd have already beat ourselves up, drug ourselves down a road, put ourselves in the trash can.
Yes.
We didn't discount everything. Oh, this job we want to apply for. I can't do this job. I can't do this. I can't do that. Or, oh, this is not me. This is not my skill set. This, like, so much of being hard on ourselves, of counting ourselves out. We count ourselves out. And then we'll go into other spaces and be mad when somebody else count us out.
Mm-hmm.
We count ourselves out. That's why it's a little triggering. Like, we count ourselves out. And so for me, this work has looked like, hey, girl, hey, you look beautiful today. Girl, that smile is banging, okay? Girl, you didn't do nothing on your to-do list, girl. How can we do better? What was in the way of us getting through this to-do list today, or these things that we decided wasn't going? How can I align my actions with what I say I really want? So I be coaching myself, so I'm nice to myself. I still get things done, but I don't have to should myself, right? I should have did this. It's like, okay, what happened? Let's explore it. Let's explore it. So this was, I'm having a lot of resistance. This is making me nervous. I'm scared to put myself out there. Crystle asked me to do this thing, but we can do it, girl. Because Crystle real nice, girl. She got your back. You can show up. Crystle's gonna hold you down. She's not gonna let this be a flop. So, and okay, yeah. And you got something to say, girl. And the people want to hear you, girl. And this message is gonna help somebody. This is safest place. Safest place look like that. When something's hard, when something's bad, when we have loss, when I feel scared, when I need a hug, I get to say I need a hug and go find somebody to hug me. Yeah. Who I need to call? Who I need to go home, my mama, whoever. Right? But being able to say, yeah, I need that hug. I need that connection. Literally just giving myself permission to take care of myself in all the ways that show up for me. If my body says I'm tired, I don't have to say, body, be quiet. We have work to do. We have to show up. I get to say, oh, my body's talking to me. Because safest place, take care of my body, spirit, mind. My body said, oh, my body has a pain here. I need to tend to this pain. Not, oh, I get this pain all the time. I told people like, my back been hurting me for years. Now your back should not be hurting you for years without you getting some attention to it.
Girl, correct.
My teeth been hurting me for this. Like, no, like safest place is, oh, my body needs tending to. Oh, I feel a little exhausted. Is this sleep or is this, I need some creativity? What is it that I need? Do I need some emotional rest? Do I need some social media rest? Do I need, some people rest? Do I need to get with my people? Like, that's when you become your safest place. Now you can cut out a lot of noise because at the end of the day, you good to yourself. You your biggest cheerleader. So now you get the idea, you're like, oh, I want to explore this. I don't know exactly how to start this, but let me think about who would help me to take this first step versus you ain't good enough. You can't do this. Who do you think you are to want to do this? So it's amazing. So I'm going to be a millionaire. I don't know how yet, but it feels good. It feels right. So we're going to explore that.
So much.
That happened for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I'm thinking about right now is like people pleasing is kind of what's coming up for me, where we abandon ourselves a lot of times and the things that we need in service of other people. And we have been conditioned to believe that abandoning ourselves is selfless. It is selfless, but not in a positive way. We can't continue to abandon ourselves. I probably have some of my friends that are listening to this call today. So today I was having a rough day. Like it was just my brain. It was like a lot of things going on in my brain. I really couldn't think. And I was on the phone with one of my friends and I had been trying to type this email for like 10 minutes. Like I literally could not type this email. And she was like, girl, you still typing that email? I was like, yes, because you still talking. You're interrupting my thinking. And we can talk to each other like that. Like it was just like, I'm just going to be real with you right now. Like I can't actually think because you're talking and interrupting my thoughts. And she was like, I understand. I'm about to put myself on mute. And I'm like, thank you for that. Like I spoke up for myself and saying, I really can't write this email because you're talking to me and my brain is just not catching up with what it is that I'm trying to write. And the person that's part of my pack said to me, yes, I can give you this space. And even after that, I just was like, you know what? I have been on the phone a lot today. Before I got on this call, I went to go take a shower. I was like, I'm not taking my phone with me because I need time to myself to just relax, just to release, just to be with myself. And that is literally not something that I used to do. I didn't used to do that because I felt like I need to give myself to other people. I need to be present for other people because I'm with myself all the time. We might be with ourselves all the time, but like you said, we're not paying attention to ourselves. We're not prioritizing ourselves. We're prioritizing other people.
Yeah. And that's the part, right? We're with ourselves all the time and then we abuse ourselves. And I'm so glad you said abandon because that is the opposite of redeem. The opposite of redeem is abandon, disregard, miss, ignore. That's the opposite of redeem.
We ain't playing that, but that was good. Give me a high five, girl.
I know. When you say that, because I wrote that as a note, I forgot to talk about the opposite of, but you just brought that up. No, that is the opposite of, and that's what we've been doing, right? And I think we feel very comfortable ignoring ourselves and our own needs. We get real comfortable with that. And we need to check that. We need to sit down and think about what is that? Why am I comfortable?
Yeah.
Treating myself poorly or ignoring myself, ignoring my needs. And even a simple thing like spending time with yourself in the shower or, just being quiet for a second. And I think part of it is this, you alluded to this before, like this achievement thing, this doing thing. This idea that like if we're not doing anything, it's a waste of time. Like we've decided, right? We let somebody tell us doing nothing is a waste of time. But recharging yourself, being good to yourself, bigging yourself up, that allows you to be better for the things that you've decided serve you and the things that you've decided that you want to do based on what aligns with you, what aligns with like how you want to move, even in these corporate spaces. Like, how do you want to move in these corporate spaces once you have examined, some things like what's important to you? And then, Ted and them don't bother you so much when you're clear about what you're doing there and who you are. And you can let, Michelle, she's okay. We're gonna leave her over there, right? And so, because I remember being super triggered at work all the time in one role, just always, and I remember my therapist said, I believe in getting help. So me becoming a helper makes complete sense. I remember my therapist said, why do you care so much? I didn't want anybody else to make a mistake. People had ideas and I thought I had to fight because the idea didn't make sense. I thought I had to fight. Girl, some of the stuff is fine. Yeah. Some dumb ideas get to fly. It's okay. I don't have to save. I was saving the company, baby, because I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Let these people have it. Like, what's really important to me? And when I started putting up fights and battles for the things that was important to me, that served me, that did work, everybody liked me better too. Yeah. Just to be honest, the byproduct was good for me and it was good for everybody else, to be honest, because they were like, something's different. Yeah, because I'm not out here fighting with y'all all the time, trying to save the company and trying to save you from yourselves. No. I'm going to let y'all do what y'all do. I'm going to let y'all do what y'all do.
Oh my God. Yes. That is really the unlock. But what's interesting is like last week, as you know, like we talked to Christy Rutherford about happiness as liberation. And what you just talked about is like the premise of a lot of the work that she does. Is like, just let people be people. Like, you cannot run down behind people and make them want to do stuff. Like, the way that you free yourself and the way that you change the way that society says things should look like. Yes, we know that there is a pay gap. We know that, research tells us all these negative things about the workplace. And would it be ideal if things were different? Yes, absolutely. But we're not finna change them people. So the point of the matter is how do you change yourself for you, make yourself better? Because when they doing all the crazy stuff that they're doing, it's not going to bother you anymore.
Right.
Because you know who you are. You know who you are. So now it doesn't even matter what it is that you're doing. Or just even the pay gap situation. Like her and I were talking last week. And when I went through her coaching program, like someone told me, good luck with getting the number that you said you wanted. And I was like, damn. Like I almost listened to that person and said, no, I'm not going to do that. But because I walked into the room and because I knew who I was, I said the number out loud and they said, all right. And you know what? We can give you a little extra.
Listen.
So it's like, yes, those things exist, of course. But why can't you be different? Why can't your situation be better?
Yeah. And so we're not going to act like the systems don't need to change, right? So we understand that. We understand that there's bias in the workplace. We understand all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you need to make a decision that you go play the game. Yeah, that's a decision. I think a lot of people go to work and then they just act like they don't know where they're at. And they're just like, where's the fairness and the justice? It's not here, baby. It's not here. It should be. It's a work in progress, right? There are people who are actively working towards it, but it's not here. So for us to come in, we just have to understand what the game is and just know that we empower ourselves. I'm playing this game. What are my plays? What are my strengths? What's my what's my stuff? And then I'm going to do that and then I'm going to go home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Focus on what is rather than what you wish it would be. That is like the most profound thing that I've ever heard. And it literally transformed my whole life. Is there are so many things that I wish were like this, but they're not.
Yeah.
So because they're not, how am I going to move right now? Also still work towards equity and justice. But how do I operate in this moment right now? Because we live in a capitalist society. We might say that we don't want to participate in it, but we have to participate. Yeah. So, yeah, just focus.
I, for one, don't want to be on the grid. I don't want to be off the grid, catching my own animals and finding my own water. So I'm in it. I'm in America. This is where I am. This is where I'm going to be. I know some people are escaping. That's fine. this is what I'm be, this is what my aging parents are. So this is what I'm going to be, right? So what do I need to do here in America to, have success as I define it for myself? And I think that's important too. What does success mean for me in corporate America that I define, right? And I'm not worried about anybody else. So maybe that's not this high title. And if you want that, then you can pursue that. So this is not about me telling people what to do. I'm telling you, for me, I know what I'm looking to do and where I'm looking to be and what matters for me. And when I get that, that's going to make me good for me. And I'm going to accept things they are. And then I'll do my part, right? So my part, I'll be a mentor. I'll be a sponsor. I will note the things when I see something that's wrong that makes sense for me to know. And then otherwise, I'm going to let the system play out. I'm going to let the game play out.
Yeah.
I'm just a player in the game. That's it.
Exactly. And you're a player in the game. However, there are people that you're building around you, your pack.
Yes.
Kimberly Pack is talking about packs. So how do you build your pack of people around you, your supporters that keep you on track with you being your safest place, with you prioritizing yourself and doing all the things that we talked about today that are under that umbrella of redeeming yourself?
Yeah. It's a funny thing. I just want to call out what's so funny about this, because I was calling my work around this build your professional tribe. And Chris was like, girl, your last name Pack, you better use that name. And I was like, oh, I never even thought about it. And so now I'm building your professional pack. So this is some influence. Okay. She is my unofficial mentor. Okay. So I was like, I've never even thought about using my name. That makes perfect sense. So anyway, so that's the rub. That's the little giggles behind that, because she is an influencer. Okay. A welcomed influencer of my work. So when we think about our pack, so there's a professional pack and it could bleed over, but then you need your everyday pack. And I think one of the first things you need to do is just assess what you have. Who's in your life? Who do you feel comfortable with talking about the things that you need to talk about? Who do you feel comfortable with talking about, negative feelings, bad things, being scared, losing some hopes, like being afraid? Like, who are those people? And if you don't have anybody, then that's the work, right? You need to start building some more healthier relationships with people that you can have those conversations with. And they may be there and you guys have never not done that before. Or maybe you feel like you presented yourself in your friend circle as somebody who always has it together. So if you could start taking off some of those masks with these folks that have, as you observe them, that they are trustworthy and can handle that. And you just test out and let people show you who they are. So maybe if you've never done this with somebody, you wouldn't lead with the most hard-hitting thing, but you can start building from there. So in my personal life, I have a lot of friends and I talk about certain things with certain people, and it's okay because it all together, it fulfills, right? So there's people who I talk to every day. Like when they go on vacation and not available, I'll be real sad. I'm like, get back home. So I have those people who I can talk about, like, this is what I'm doing. This is the mistake I made. Like, and they don't judge me. They're here to cheerlead me. They're on my side no matter what. They will still tell me when I'm wrong, but they want me to win. Right. So if you don't have people in your circle that for a fact want you to win. I have friends that signed up for my workshop. They don't even care about what I got to talk about, but they signed up and they showed up for me and they gave me some good feedback, because I'm new to this. So these are my friends who are supporting me, who are showing up in a small way. They got an hour for me. Like, I have an hour for Kimberly and her new business. Of course I do. Oh, I'll test out her Zoom leads because she don't know what she's doing. Yes. So again, who are these people who are supporting me as I'm doing something new? I'm doing something very scary. I'm doing something with a lot of uncertainty, but I'm okay with that, right? And so who are those people? There's people who I've not spoken about this at all. The only thing they know that I'm doing is what's on LinkedIn. We have not had a conversation, and that is okay. So I'm not, and all of this is without judgment. So think about who it is in your life there are some people, like I have people who like culture stuff. This seems weird, but I really enjoy plays, and I have some friends that would never go to a museum or a play. So I got to find other people. Mm-hmm. So I have people who I do concerts and plays with. I got people who I do this and that with, but I have that core group of people I have people that I travel with, people that I absolutely will not travel with, but they my friends. We're not going nowhere together except to the restaurant. Mm-hmm. We can go to the restaurant together. We can go to the movies together. We're not going on the trip together. It's different. So making sure that on your personal side, that you have those people who you can share those things with, who encourage you. There's some, I'm going to be 44 this year. Like, there's some life decisions that I need to make, and they're big and they're huge. And I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to be stepping into. And there's people who are supporting me on that, who are loving me on that, who tell me whatever I decide, it's going to be the right thing. And then the kind of people you need in your life, right? Whatever you decide, it's going to be the right thing, because we're going to make it right. Once you make the decision, make it right. And so I have friends in my life like that. So then professionally, you'll have your sponsors, mentors, your planners, just all that. So people talk about that all the time. And if you don't know that stuff, I'm leading a workshop every Tuesday evening on that one for the rest of the month. But you need to know who in work, who are the people who are going to be supporting you for like your work goals, your work aspirations, because that's a different set of people. And that's an intentional set of people other than the advocates who are the people you're interacting with all the time, who can speak well of you because you're generally showing up as a team player, delivering value, all that good stuff. But the start is to assess. Everything is an assessment, because it's this unexamined life that has us on a rat race and a wheel, and we're just doing stuff and we don't know why we're doing it. We don't know why we're doing it because we never examine. So I am examining our lives. We do not want to have an unexamined life. We want to examine so that we can start making the changes inside, outside, that's going to help us be liberated. That's going to help us feel liberated, walk liberated. And people go feel that liberation, y'all. They feel it when you walk in the room. A liberated woman, a liberated Black woman.
Yes, ma'am.
Who's not going to take note of that? That's, y'all, please.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, I'm right.
A Black woman walking around with a smile on her face. Girl.
Unbothered,
radiating, skin's popping, laughter and joy exuding. That's what I aspire to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm walking into. That's what I'm becoming. That's what I'm already showing glimpses of, and I'm going to continue to step in it.
I love it.
That's right.
Yeah. I just love you. Like, I just, I don't know what else to say. Like, our first conversation, I was just like, this woman is amazing.
Oh, thank you. And that's the thing. I think that's important too. Some people just going to see you. So Crystle has had a big influence on me, whether she knows it or not. And I ain't even known this woman a month yet. Have I known you a month yet? I don't know.
No.
And so for us to like be open to who's coming into our lives, my prayer to God lately is, Lord, send the people to me that's supposed to be in my life. Yeah. And I'm open for that. I'm open for that help. Who are the people who's supposed to be a part of my success story? So then I have already was following Crystle on LinkedIn, didn't even know, saw her retreat, didn't even connect that it was the same person. And then, like she said, Alicia was like, oh, you need to meet this woman. So she came, I had 3 points before we ever talked and didn't even connect that this was the same woman, right? So somebody said, I said, oh, I already saw that retreat link. I already follow her on LinkedIn. And then, yeah, like I said, she was moving slow. So I had jumped in it. But again, and it was a blessing. It's amazing because as soon as we met, she saw me. And not only did she see me, she decided she wanted to be a part. She's like part of my growth. She's giving me opportunities, like just automatically, right? Just instant sisterhood. And so then if you don't have it, just know that you can have it. When you start setting yourself up and you get clear about what you need and what you want, and you start moving differently, and your heart is open and your prayer is what it needs to be, and you set your intention, the people are going to come. They're going to come.
Yes.
So you don't have to be sad about it. You don't have to be down about it. I know some people, on the internet, that's something that people don't have the healthy connections, right? They don't have the connection. They're like, oh, the big joke is if somebody say, oh, you won this thing for dinner for 10, they're like, who has 9 friends? People literally are like, and if your circle's small, your circle's small. But to the people who are insulated, the people who feel alone, the people who don't feel like they have somebody to have their back, that's something worth you working on. That's something worth you working towards, because living in a life where nobody has your back is, even if you're your own safe space, but your safe space self is going to have people in your life that will also uplift you, protect you, provide, and that's what you want to have. And that's available to us all if we're willing to do the work. If we do that assessment and then we start positioning people, and then some people need to go. Not everybody, but some people may have to go, and that's okay. Or some people get reclassified. I learned that it's not all or nothing. Some people just get reclassified. They still get to be in the life, but maybe they don't get certain parts or certain topics or whatever it might be, but they're still there and they're still adding value. So just decide what you need and then do the work to let it happen for you and bring those folks in and rejoice and celebrate at every time, at every moment. I rejoice all the time. I celebrate all the time. I mean, I have not done half the stuff I need to do, but I have had a joyful day today.
Yes.
I have. I'll be like, girl, this one thing I just celebrated for doing this one thing, right? But that's fine, because every day, like, I don't want to reserve joy. I don't want to reserve celebration just for something that may be considered a milestone for somebody else. No, every day, every time I can get a celebration in, even if it's small, I don't care. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna have a little moment. I'm gonna have a little laughter. I'm gonna have a little joy moment. I'm gonna have a little praise break. I'm gonna have that every day. I get to have that every day. I've decided I want that every day for
Yeah,
myself.
I love that so much. So a couple episodes ago, I started my click and pen moments. This is not official. This is just
Okay.
something that I do from time to
Testing
time.
it out.
There
Okay.
are 3 lessons that I've written down from our conversation. And one is assess your unexamined life, because we are all often just doing all the things because we were told we needed to do the things. And we don't know why it is that we're doing them. So that was one takeaway. The second one is be your own safest place, because it's an inside job.
Yes.
And then lastly, you just said this, which I thought was just brilliant. Rejoice and celebrate every moment, because we are often really hard on ourselves and we don't give ourselves a lot of grace. Celebrate everything. Because you know what? That mediocre white man is celebrating everything. Everything. Celebrate yourself, sis.
Celebrate yourself. And it's so funny that we would think it's not worth celebrating, right? Like, that's the other thing. Let me just say this. When we stop being transactional with ourselves, that's helps us get to our safe place. When we're not good with ourselves, when we're doing something, we've achieved something, that's the transactional part. We be
Yeah.
transactional with ourselves. So people talk about transactional relationships and dating and friendship, but what about when we're transactional with ourselves? I only like you and big you up when you do something big, something that somebody else decided was important. What if I'm not transactional with myself? What if I'm good with me all day, every day, even when I'm not doing something I'm not supposed to be doing? I can catch myself. I can say, we shouldn't have been doing that. Again, why do we do that? How do we stop that from happening? How do we set ourselves up to not go down this path again? Like, how do we do that? So I'm not saying we're going to stay in some mess that we know ultimately is not serving us, but being hard on ourselves doesn't change things, particularly when we haven't tended to the wound that had us do the thing in the first place.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm glad you took those 3 notes. I wrote them down myself because half the time I don't know what I'm saying. I just be talking as I'm led.
Coming from the heart. And I love it. And that being said, tell us about all the things you got going on. You got a workshop on Fridays, you got a workshop on Tuesdays, you said, and then you got the
Yes.
retreat. How can people talk to you? How can they get to know you? How can they get involved in all the things that you're doing?
Yeah. So we'll put it in a chat, but I am for the month of May, for the rest of the Tuesdays, there's 2 more Tuesdays. I'm doing a building your professional pack. So I'll talk about the kind of professional people you want in your life to, help with your career success. And then on Fridays at 12 Eastern, 11 Central, I'll be doing a presentation on sacred rest, where I'm going to be talking about Dr. Dalton Smith's 7 types of rest, and talking about some of the things that, we've already kind of brought up here about this, really taking care of ourselves in meaningful ways. And there's some actionable things we can do right away. Like, these are the actions that I need you to take, these actions that give you rest and all that. And when you're your safest place, you're going to listen to your body, right? And you're going to say, oh, I'm not feeling good. And you're going to handle those things. So yeah. So the sacred rest will be Fridays at 11 Central, 12 Eastern. I have a retreat, the Redeem Yourself retreat. What's the experience? So it's a 6-week thing. So some of it's virtual. And then we'll be going to Miraval, Arizona for 3 nights over Labor Day weekend. And again, that time together will be, if you've never been to Miraval, Arizona, or any of the other locations, I'm an unofficial Miraval ambassador. Crystle, no, I feel very strongly about Miraval, but Miraval is a wellness resort, and Arizona is their flagship. And so it's just really a place to go to disconnect, to unplug. I'm calling it unplug to level up. And so what are we challenging people to do there is getting the rest, to have some adventure. There's some group things that I'm already going to have planned out. And then other things you'll decide which one to do. Is that a massage? Is that some archery? It's so many things to do there. And it's going to be an amazing time, all inclusive, and just like a beautiful time for you to start doing some more of that examination, but also doing it with creativity and adventure and luxury. And so it's up in the game for this practice of you redeeming yourself. So I'm really excited about that. But if you sign up for my newsletter, which I will start sending next week, this is all new, right? We are progressing. So if you sign up for at togetherascend.com, there's a sign up for the newsletter. I will be sharing more things. And so it's exciting. I'm happy for everyone who's coming on this journey with me, because it's going to be a good time. If you can tell, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, it's gonna be an amazing time. I mean, you are already a vibe. Like, I can't imagine meeting you in person, and we got to figure out how we meet in person.
Yes.
I'm gonna come to Chicago at some point. I don't know when.
While the weather's good, so you should come soon. Mhm.
Yes, yes. My favorite hotel in Chicago, I was just telling someone this earlier today, is EMC2.
Hmm.
It's a Marriott. It has like a all glass bathroom. And the first time I went there was years ago, and they actually have robots that come to your room and bring you stuff.
Okay.
So it's really cute.
I
Real,
listen.
real
I
grown sexy spot.
listen. Book it, and I'm coming through.
I would love it. I would love it. Kimberly, it has been a pleasure having this conversation with you today. And I know I speak for everyone else who is listening. So if you're still listening, thank you so much for being here. If you are hashtag team replay, thank you for coming through on your time to listen to the conversation. And we'd love to hear from you in the chat in terms of what it is that you learned from this conversation. And as we already shared, we will be dropping Kimberly's links inside of the chat as well to her retreat, to her call on Fridays about sacred rest, and to her calls on Tuesdays about building your professional pack. I'm so proud of you, girl.
Thank you so much.
Proud of you. All right, everybody. Y'all have a good night. And again, thank you so much for joining us. And we'll see you again next week on Thursday at 7 p.m. Central for another episode of We Ain't Dying for This, a Black Woman's Guide to Liberation.
All right. Bye.